Hello, assalamu alaikum. Hi, everybody. Happy Ramzan. I wanted to share with you my updates on Rinvoq. I was about 7 days missed dose because of all the issues with the prior authorization, the insurance change, the specialty pharmacy change, and I was being bounced around from the one specialty pharmacy to another specialty pharmacy, saying that my medication wasn't insured and covered. I probably have my insurance information memorized by now, and the copay assistance card number memorized by now. And then you also have to reach out to the pharmaceutical company to give you that savings plan, and which is nice, thank you. Even with all of that, the price was still $150, and the copay assistance card mentioned that, yeah, we might be able to give you a assistance on the rest of it. But just to update you on what has happened with my skin since then. Since then, I noticed an immediate flare-up of my eczema. Within about 3 days of missed doses, I noticed that my hives were starting to come back. My general allergies to dust it worsened by a lot, and my prickly skin that I had for years before the medication, it started coming back up. I also experienced the nervous itching that I used to have a lot, even when my psychiatric medicines did not change. And specifically, I noticed in the problem areas some worsening. I also want to share that I started putting triamcinolone on my face, all over my face, because I knew that if I did not, then I would have issues. As you can see, my skin is a little bit washed out today, and also I'm experiencing some conjunctivitis or infection in my eye. When I was on Dupixent many years ago, I experienced the same thing, because it was shutting down my immune system. And because I had a break of the Rinvoq, I have a feeling that increasing, like suddenly starting the Rinvoq after 2 weeks of, or 9 days of not having it, put me at a high risk for a skin infection, which happens if you're on an immunosuppressant. So as you can see, I can barely open my eyes. My eczema has come back. This is me using a lot of triamcinolone on my face, which I know I'm not supposed to do, but I needed to keep it under control. I also noticed the angular cheilitis or cheilitis or whatever it's called, the inflammation around the lips as being worsened. My back and my stomach are finally slowing down. I've taken a lot of Benadryl in the last week to offset the itching and to help me fall asleep, which is what I used to do as a child and in middle school and all throughout my childhood. So I just want to share that although Rinvoq changed my life and provided me with a new life, I also feel a sense of anger and frustration towards the healthcare system. It has not improved. In fact, it's gotten more and more complicated. And you could say a lot of things in support of the healthcare system, but I don't really care for your thoughts. The only thing I'm really thankful for is the people that manufactured this drug and researched it and have been researching eczema and atopic dermatitis, and my specific severe case of it. And every specialist and doctor and researcher that I have seen has said that there has not been a drug like Rinvoq before, and I'm very grateful for that. However, I'm very displeased and in fact angry at the back and forth and the inability of the parts of the system to communicate with each other. Playing middleman is not fun for any relationship, so why would it be fun to figure out how to keep yourself alive and well? So I am very upset about that. More than anything, though, I think that I feel a sense of acceptance about my eczema, and having it come back was a huge reality check for me. that this is something I will have for life. This Rinvoq is not a cure, it's a treatment. And I can't expect myself to suddenly, I shouldn't get used to a life without pain. And I shouldn't get used to a life without illness, because that is life. And for a lot of people, chronic pain, chronic disease is not a manifestation of their karma or something they did wrong, but it's a simple fact of their genetic code and certain mutations and the inabilities of certain cells to fight in a normal way. And so I both experience a sense of anger and frustration towards our system, and I'm also noticing that I'm having to accept suffering a little bit and know that it is part of life, and that is okay. I hope my conjunctivitis heals. I've been using a saline rinse in my eyes so that I don't have to use an antibiotic, but if it comes down to it, I will have to find a new primary care because I don't have one, because my insurance changed and everything is out of network. And yeah, good luck to me. I'm going back to herbal medicines as much as I can, and I'm excited for the time that I can live in the mountains, because I didn't need Rinvoq. I didn't need any of this, but we don't live in the mountains. We live in the city with a lot of pollutants. And also from a spiritual perspective, all of the inflammation that my body is experiencing, I imagine is a reflection of what's happening in the world and in the cosmos, with our explosion of disease and all of these concerns are coming to the surface. And I have always been in touch with the earth balance. And so if the body of mine is out of balance, I imagine it's not just mine, it's connected with something larger. And with that societal, spiritual, psychological, and physical reflection on the eczema, I will leave you with a very short prayer that we have a universal energy that is enduring, and though life is temporary and quite painful and quite confusing, there is an everlasting and infinite experience in which there is no pain, and we always have access to that, but sometimes we're not aware enough of ourselves and of our consciousness, and that prevents us from accessing those higher levels, those higher states. But it's okay, we're human beings. We can't always be light bodies, and sometimes we have to be earth bodies, and sometimes we have to suffer through the elements, and the elements are us. We are the elements. So just like elements transition in states of matter and their efficacy and the way they communicate with each other, so too will parts of our body. With that, I hope you have a great day, and thank you for listening to the Eczema Diaries. 31 years, still going strong.